One of the simplest rules of business is that if you don't give your customers what they want, then sooner or later someone else will. And that, my friend, is when you
That's
go
true.
out of business. Such is the case with
That's
Snow
not gonna
White
happen
and the
though.
7 diverse, non-specific, vertically challenged creatures. A movie that somehow managed to combine all the
The
worst aspects of
agenda.
modern movie making with an actress who embodies all the worst aspects of modern actors.
Weird, weird. It's no longer 1937. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
And believe me, that's saying something.
Nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie.
What?
In short, it was giving fans of the classic fairy tale, or
Record
even the
scratch.
1937 animated movie, the exact opposite of what they wanted. And the result has been an audience backlash on a scale never before seen. Even
Has
The
been a little
Little
bit nuts.
Mermaid never came close to the thermonuclear level of hatred that engulfed Snow White. But, like I say, for every failing company that's too stupid or too arrogant to give their customers what they actually want, there's another up-and-coming hopeful waiting to swoop in and take the crown. And in this case, it's the Daily Wire, a conservative media
Of
outlet
all
that started
places.
dabbling in film and TV production over the past couple of years. And while they haven't exactly rocked the world of entertainment to its core,
No.
movies like Run, Hide, Fight and Shuts In proved that they can make relatively decent films on a fraction of the cost of Hollywood's. And the other day, they dropped their first teaser trailer for Snow White and the Evil Queen, something
kinda
that I
funny.
honestly thought was a piss take at first. But nope, it's a legit movie that's actually getting made and released next year.
I thought it was a parody, like the way Brett Cooper turns and looks at, like, she doesn't look at the camera, but she kind of looks over and reveals her face and the horrible makeup on her face to look like Snow White. It looked like a parody. It was really actually like really funny.
Here under their kids' production company Bentkey, starring Brett Cooper as Snow White, which confused the hell out of me because I always assumed that Brett Cooper was a man. And damn man, right off the bat you can tell they're happily taking pot shots at Disney with this one. The reveal of Cooper as Snow White is left until the final seconds of the teaser, and it's played with such a triumphant flourish that it might as well be accompanied by the caption, "See, this is how it's supposed to be done." I mean, clearly the whole thing was slapped together pretty quickly to
Oh,
take
yeah, super
advantage
quick.
of the momentum around Snow White, probably on a small budget, so it looks more like a skit from SNL than a major Hollywood movie.
Thank you. That's what it felt like because it literally. You guys just taught me this too. Now I know. Ooh, I can go back. Oh, ho, 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 look at that. Look at that. I can do it now. This is literally what I felt like. It felt like a parody of Snow White, or like really a parody of what they're trying to do to Disney. I didn't think it was real until I realized, oh, this is on their Bentkey little app for the kids app. They got a bunch of shows. This is gonna be the first feature-length movie on there, and so it's a real thing coming next year. But it looks like it's a joke. And then it was Brett Cooper actually singing like some of that song that plays during the teaser. That's her singing as well. So they're going all in apparently.
Movie. Then again, based on the pictures we've seen from the set, the Disney version doesn't exactly justify its $200 million price tag either, so who the hell knows? You can tell that they've gone out of their way not to put a modern spin on the classic story, not to subvert the audience's expectations, and not to use the movie as an excuse to insert 21st century Californian ideology into a story written hundreds of years ago. And whether or not you agree with that idea, one thing you can't deny is that there's definitely a market for films like this, a growing market that's become increasingly alienated from modern entertainment and want
true.
nothing more complicated than to forget their troubles and lose themselves in a bit of escapism for an hour or two. Not much to ask, really, but it's something that Hollywood's been increasingly reluctant to give. You know, it's actually a pretty damning indictment of where we are as a culture that a movie that dares to just tell a conventionally heroic story that's faithful to the source material is now considered some crazy revolutionary outlier, but there you go. Truly, we live in
There
clown
you
worlds.
go.
The same principle of being humble and respectful to the source material even filters through to the main actress when she was speaking about her role. Quote, "I was raised on the original Grimm's fairy tales, so I'm thrilled that we're bringing this iconic story to life for the next generation. Snow White is such a beautiful character, and I'm honoured to be playing her. Like all the best fairy tales, this is a story with timeless values like love, friendship, and kindness, and I can't wait to share them." Now, do me a favour and compare this for a moment to Rachel Zegler's interpretation of the character and her attitude to the original animated movie.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore
It's extremely dated.
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie. She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love.
They had the same thing with a lot of the stuff for The Little Mermaid was kind of similar, not to this degree. And I agree, there's certain things that should change from stuff that was made, so long ago. Because especially like when it comes to like the racial stuff, we were not depicted very well, in a lot of things. In some cases, not at all. It'd be a white guy, blackface, all that kind of stuff. So things like that, yeah, I get. But when it comes to the characters in these movies, where, yes, like in some cases they are yearning for a man, you can somewhat change it, but still keep the same essence of the story. Little Mermaid tried, but then it didn't work in a couple of scenarios. Like, she was more enamored with just the world and the land and all that kind of stuff, not really Prince Eric. And then when Prince Eric is all about this other woman, then she's like, oh, wait a minute. And it was like, you didn't care about this dude at all. So it didn't really work in that case. In this scenario, as far as Snow White, the whole story is about being saved by a man, yes, but there's different ways you can go at it while still keeping the essence of the overall story and overall character arcs and motivations and stuff like that. Why do you have to modernize everything? That's the part that I don't understand. Like, then you're getting away from the actual story that's trying to be told. It's so weird. I don't get it. And it feels like with this one, it's going even more in that direction, the Disney version, than even Little Mermaid. And there were issues there.
There's a big focus on her love story. With a guy who literally stalks her.
Women being in roles of power.
Bit of a difference there, isn't there? Tell me, which actress do you find yourself rooting for more? Now, ultimately, I've got no idea at this stage whether Snow White and the Evil Queen will be any good or not.
Right,
It could just as easily turn out to be a steaming pile of dog shit, no matter the good intentions behind it. The difference, though, is that unlike the Disney version, I actually want this one to succeed, partly because I think it's being made with exactly the kind of attitude that's sorely lacking in Hollywood today, and partly because the anarchist in me wants to see the absolute meltdown that'll engulf the mainstream media. This film somehow outperforms Disney's excretion. I mean, let's be honest, it totally isn't going to, but it's funny to think about all the same. It really feels like a classic case of a scrappy underdog taking on a bigger, overconfident opponent. Either way, the simple existence of this movie and the attention it's getting proves the point that I made at the start, that if you go long enough without giving your customer what they want, then eventually someone else is going to step in and do it for you. They might not succeed immediately, but the simple fact that they tried it will inevitably encourage others to do the same. And well, sooner or later, you might just find that those customers you took for granted have taken their business elsewhere. And at the end of the day, you've got no one to blame but yourself.
It's Hollywood, baby.
Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Well, I think the other issue that you run into is that you have people that are yearning for something else, something different. Disney continues to put out the same things over and over again. Even though I think Haunted Mansion was a different beast in itself, even though it didn't make that much money, it didn't do that well. It was a straight story, and they didn't feel like they were trying to put any politics in there, which I appreciated. I think the issue I have when it comes to just Hollywood period is like you're trying to put all these politics and ideas into all these movies in not even a subtle way. And I'm trying to watch movies to not feel any of that. I'm trying to watch movies to escape my reality for a while, unless it's like a docudrama or something. Then yeah, you know what you're getting into. I'm not trying to have all these things in movies that you're living through and experiencing on a day-to-day basis to a degree. And yes, it's always been there. Movies have always done it. I get that part. But it feels like they're going on this tangent with really trying to add this stuff in here. The WOKE stuff, however you want to say it. I hate saying that word because it's kind of dumb. But when people say, oh, these places don't want to try anything new. They don't want to try new IP. Well, they're trying new stuff when it comes to these stories and adding these different things to their stories and changing characters and changing all kinds of motivations and plots and all that kind of stuff to drive this agenda, as he puts it. I love the picture that he uses for that. This is interesting. When I saw the trailer for the Bent Key production that Daily Wire has for Snow White, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like not for real. I thought it was all just a parody. Even the description saying it's coming out 2024. It's part of the Bent Key Productions on their app. Download the app. I was like, this this is all fake, right? And it's like, no, this is a real thing. Will it do better than the Snow White movie that comes out for Disney if they're still doing it anyway? No. It'll probably be better, but it's not going to do better monetarily. It's just not going to happen. Disney's still that behemoth, and people will still go see these live action remakes no matter how bad they are. So that's just kind of the way it is. But I thought I'd just watch this real quick watch. It's always good to watch Critical Drinker stuff. I still got to watch that Robin Hood one, which I don't know about. Is that a show like a BBC show or something? Because I know that's not something that's being done here, right, in the US. I don't know. I saw it and I was like, oh God. So I got to watch that one next. But let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below, though. Just overall, just the state of Hollywood, state of this whole Snow White situation with Disney, and now Daily Wire putting theirs out. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching. Check out the other videos I got for you guys here, as always, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.